welcome to Realignment Yoga at Yoga Within. My name is Candace and I'm going to be leading you through your practice today. So today you're going to need some sort of strap that you can put around your legs to push against, so it's got a loop in it, so it could be a belt or even something like a dog leash, something that you can tie. And then you need a couple of yoga blocks or something that you could squeeze, and then something that you can anchor your foot against, so a weight, a book, something like that. And then a timer, so something that you can set a timer with. We'll be doing an exercise that requires some timing. So starting in static back, as we do in every class. So you're going to come down onto your back. You're going to place your legs up on your chair or your block. You want to make sure that your hips are bent at 90 and your knees are bent at 90. And then your feet, your knees, and your hip bones are all in alignment. So there should be a little bit of space in between your feet. The upper body is relaxed. Arms are out to the side, palms facing up. And if that doesn't feel good, you can just rest them softly on your belly. So you can softly close your eyes if that is comfortable for you, or just stare up at the ceiling. Allowing those eyes to relax. Your cheeks feel relaxed. Letting go of any tension in your jaw. Keep your lips closed. Let your teeth come apart just a little bit and allow the tongue to softly drop down from the roof of the mouth. The back of the throat feels soft and your neck is long. Allow your shoulders to relax down and away from your ears. Your arms and your hands are relaxed. Noticing today if you've got tension in the shoulder blade area, and try to let that go. And then just notice what's happening with the low back. Notice how much of an arch you've got in the low back. And over these next few minutes, just try to relax that low back and let it settle. Making sure there's no tension in the stomach area, and just allow it to softly rise and fall with your breath. Letting go of any tension in the hip crease area, so it doesn't feel like your legs are gripping or holding it up. Legs are just supported by your chair. The fronts of the legs are relaxed, as are the insides of the legs. Your knees are relaxed. Shins and calves are relaxed, and your feet are relaxed. So just lying in this position, feeling supported by the floor. Feeling as you breathe in, your body expands, and as you breathe out, allow that body to settle. So just staying here for a couple more minutes, focusing on your breath, breathing in and breathing out. Without moving anything, just notice how your body feels. Notice how this position feels for you. So for most people, this position is quite a relaxing position, and we allow the floor to be our straight line, and we try to let the body settle into this straight position, the upper body into the straight position. Take one more breath here. And then just wiggle fingers a little bit, bring some movement into there. And maybe wiggle your toes a little bit. And then you might bring some circles to your wrists and your ankles. And if you're circling, then make sure you circle both ways. And then you can just gently rock your head from side to side. Bring your head back to center. And then you're going to grab your two foam blocks.
placing them in between your knees for knee pillow squeezes. So you're going to squeeze and release, squeeze and release. You're doing this while your upper body stays relaxed, and you're trying not to use your stomach muscles or your bum muscles. You're just focusing on squeezing and releasing and using the inner thighs to do this work. Let's do 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath, and then we're going to do another set of 20, so squeezing and releasing. Squeeze for 1, 2, don't use your stomach, 3, 4, 5, don't let your bum work, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Take a breath, and then we'll do one more set of 20, squeezing those blocks and releasing. Squeeze for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Good. Take the blocks. You're going to place them up above your head so that when you clasp your hands together, you can push down on those blocks. And so these are pullover presses. So we're just pushing into the block and releasing, pushing into the block and releasing. So you're just using your arms, and as you do that, shoulder blades squeeze a little bit together on that, using the back side of your body. So press. So do this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take a breath. I'm going to do another set of 10. Press for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a breath. Last set of 10. Pushing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. You're going to grab your strap and make sure that you've got a loop in your strap, or you can tie the strap somehow. The strap goes around the legs so that it is above the knees here. And now upper body stays relaxed again, and you're pushing out into that strap. So it's a push into the strap. You're going to push for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So same thing here. Try not to use your stomach and try not to use your bum. Just using the outsides of the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Take a breath here. We're going to do that again. So another set of 20, squeezing or pressing into the strap and releasing. So press for 1, 2, 3. Keep going. So we are working the outsides of the legs on this exercise, and on the one we were pressing the knees together, we're working the insides of the legs. So both the outsides and the insides of the legs, those muscles have a job to do. We are trying to teach them that which job it is that they are supposed to do, and that we need them to be activated when we're walking. So often these muscles don't work quite how they should, and other muscles take over, which sometimes can cause us some problems later down the road. When you're finished your 20, pause for a breath, and we're going to do one more set of 20. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You can leave the strap where it is, but just let your legs relax. And now you're going to take your hands into that, what we call a golf grip. So the pads of the fingers go to the pads of the knuckles. Try to keep your wrists perfectly straight, and then take those knuckles up to your temples. Elbow curls, so the elbows are coming in and they're coming out. You're trying to keep your wrists perfectly straight on this, so the wrists don't bend. It doesn't matter whether or not your elbows touch or not. We're just trying to go back and forth, elbows together, elbows back, and you're trying to just work on the range of motion in your shoulders on this. So trying to get the shoulder blades do what they're supposed to do on this. Making sure you're breathing. We're going to do 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. The strap can come off from around your legs, and it just puts to the side. We're still going to stay in this static back position. Palms are facing up, arms are a little bit out to the side. These are called pullbacks. So you're going to flex your feet, you're going to pull your knees towards your chest, your heels slide along your chair, and then you're going to lift up your heels and then drop it down. So it's pull, straighten your legs, and then take them back down. Pull, straighten your legs, take them back down. Pull, straight, and down. Do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, last one. Good. Pause for a breath. I'm going to do another set of 10 on this. So it's a pull, lift, same thing. So we are trying to reestablish the muscular really between the torso and the hips. So just breathing, making sure you're breathing as you do this, and trying maybe to match the breath with your movement. Good. Pause for a minute, and then we're going to do one more set of 10. Pulling, making sure the feet stay flexed on this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Your feet come off your block or your chair, and then however you can, come up to standing. So coming up to a standing position, just stand, find a standing position where your heels are against the wall, bums against the wall, shoulder blades are against the wall, and then the head just tries to be straight. So you want your feet, outsides of the feet to be straight, so that if you do a line between the second and third toe down to the middle of the ankle, that would get a straight line. So for most of us, that feels like we're a little bit pigeon-toed, but this would be straight. And so again, we use the wall as to provide us with a like a plumb line to know how straight should feel. And so if this feels foreign, then it's probably we're not standing straight very often. So just take a moment to notice too what your hands are doing. Are your thumbs pointing forward, or do the backs of the hands point forward? So if backs of the hands are pointing forward, it speaks to rounding of the shoulders. And so we're wanting over time for the shoulders to become nice and straight and the thumbs point forward. So this is actually how our body's built, not like this. So just noticing how that feels. Again, this might feel very foreign, and that's okay. So staying here against the wall, take your hands and bring them up to a T position. So T position, backs of the hands are against the wall. We're going to do little tiny side bends back and forth. But so we're not doing this with our arms. Our arms don't move. Our arms are only moving because our body's moving. So little tiny side bends back and forth. So
You're just noticing how this feels. Back and forth. So this isn't a big movement. You're just going to whatever range of motion you have. One more each way here. Hands come down. Take your feet, step them out. So now about 1.5 feet apart. Arms are out to that T position. Backs of the hands are against the wall. Again, a little tiny windmill, back and forth. His hands are sliding along the wall. Body's in a nice straight position. Just going back and forth in these little side bends. One more each way. Hands come down. Take your feet, step them out. So now you're about 2.5 feet apart. Backs of the hands are against the wall. Back and forth. Making sure you're breathing. Feeling a little bit of side stretch as you're doing this. One more each way. Hands come down. Take your feet back to that pelvis width apart. So that's pelvic bones, feet are in line with the pelvic bones. Outsides of the feet are straight. Last time for these windmills, back and forth. Side bends back and forth. So as our feet went wider, you might have found that it got a little bit harder, and that's perfectly fine. Then maybe now this one is a little bit easier. And last time. Good, hands come down. So staying where you're at here. Scapular contractions. So you're going to squeeze shoulder blades together and relax. Squeeze, relax. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now take your feet, duck them out. So feet, toes are out, heels are in. We're going to do glute contractions. You're going to squeeze those bum cheeks together. So you're going to squeeze them for 1, 2, don't use your stomach. 3, 4, don't use your legs. 5, just your bum. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Take your feet back to pelvis width apart, outsides of the feet straight. So now we're going to try to lift our kneecaps. So you're going to use the fronts of your legs to try to get those kneecaps to lift up a little bit. So you're going to lift up for 1, 2, so this one might be really hard. 3, 4, 5, might require some concentration. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, stay your feet where you're at, and we're going to do those scapular contractions again. So you're going to squeeze shoulder blades together for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Glute contractions, so this time we're leaving the feet pointing straight ahead. Squeeze those bum cheeks together for 1. You're doing 10. So you may wonder why we do these glute contractions. So the bum muscle's biggest muscle in the body, and so they should be doing lots of our work, and we should be using them for walking. Often we don't, and so think of these big muscles to be used for more than just sitting on. Doing one more. Good, and now the kneecap lifts, so trying to lift up those kneecaps, up and down. So 10 of these. So this should be an action that we should be able to do, and if your body has no idea what you're asking it to do, then that's okay. Just think about lifting them, and someday they will lift. Once your body understands what you want it to do. Do one more. Good. Last round for the scapular contraction, so squeeze for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now glute contractions, squeeze for 1, 2, no stomach. 3, try not to use your legs. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Last time for the kneecap lifts, try to lift them up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Let's do just a little bit of balancing here. So stand one foot in front of the other. If balance isn't with you, right, make sure you use a wall. Balance is different on different days, and so maybe this is not your balancing day. So just try to get your balance here. Just notice how that feels. This is a pretty narrow stance. And so just making sure you're breathing. So this is, if this feels super easy for you, then maybe try to look to the right and to the left. That'll change things. And maybe you even try to look up, which usually really changes things. And then look straight ahead. Now try to lift up the front toe. So we've decreased the base a little bit on this of lifting up that front toe. Put that front toe back down, lift up, back heel. Again, reducing the base that we're standing on. And you're breathing again. You could take and look around a little bit if balance is super easy today. Looking up, down is easy. Try to look up. Good, bring that down. Switching over to the other side. So now the other heel's on the toe. Getting your balance. Using the wall if you need to. So look around a little bit, right? Noticing how your balance is. So it's really important that we practice balance probably every day. It's one of those things that if we don't practice it one day, it's just gone. So now lift up that front toe. Again, decreasing the balance. My balance isn't with me very good today. Put that toe down, lifting up the back heel. Making sure you're breathing. Again, from here, then maybe you look around a little bit. Maybe you try to look up. And then just take it back down. Good. And then come on down to hands and knees. Making sure that your knees are stacked underneath your hips and my hands are stacked underneath my shoulders. This is cats and dogs. Try to have a little bit of weight in the tops of your feet here. So you're going to start with the tail. Tuck your tail under, low back rounds, shoulder blades come apart, head drops. You're an angry cat. And then lift up the tailbone, belly drops, shoulder blades squeeze together, head comes up. You're a happy dog. Breathing out into angry cat. Breathing in into happy dog. So just going through this range of motion at your own pace. Just making sure that you are starting with the tail. So the tail starts both the angry cat and the happy dog, with the head being the last to come up or down. So tail, and then rounding down, and then tail lifts and coming back up. And the next time you're an angry cat, you're really, really angry cat, and then just come back to a neutral spine, and then come down onto your belly. So your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders. So I'm in a little bit of a back bend. If this feels like too much of a back bend for you, then elbows can come down a little bit to reduce that. But if you can, try to get the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Then you're going to bend your knees. Your knees come apart a little bit, and your foot soles come together. So now we're pushing into our foot soles here. So the shoulder blades are here. Take your hands, thumbs come up, put them out to the side. Shoulder blades collapse together. Head then stays looking straight ahead, and we're pushing into our feet. So push and release, push and release. You should feel back side of the body working on this. Push and release. For 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Come down. Hand over hand. Legs come down. Toes are together. Heels drop out to the side. And you're resting your head on your hands to help release low back. If you feel that low back doesn't release in this, then you can bend your knees and just wiper them back and forth. Take one more breath here, and then come back into that cobra position again. So elbows are back underneath the shoulders, thumbs point up and out, and then the hands move a little bit apart. Feet come together, knees are wide, and then you're pushing into your feet, pushing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Everything comes down, hand over hand, forehead on your hands, toes are pigeon-toed.
And relaxing into this.
One more breath. Coming back up last time for this. Again, stacking those elbows underneath the shoulders. Thumbs are out, pointing a little bit even out to the sides. And then arms come a little bit wider. Knees are bent, foot soles together. Pushing into those feet. Feeling bum and backside working on this. Making sure you're breathing. The shoulder blades have collapsed together a little bit. Feeling a nice back bend happening here. Do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come down. So forehead on your hands, toes are together, heels drop out to the side, and you're breathing. Take one more breath. Come back up onto hands and knees. And then push your bum back towards your heels. This is into child's pose. And so your you could rest your hand, your chin on your hands here. You could go hand over hand, forehead on here. Or you could have your head down to the floor. If you don't like your stomach being squished, then knees come a little bit wider. It also might feel better for hips if your hips were bothering you on the last one. Coming down here, relaxing into this. So just letting the low back have a nice round to it. And breathing. Take one more breath here. And then come down onto your back. You're lying on your back, foot soles are on the floor, so you want to make sure that your knees are in line with your hip bones and your feet are in line with your knees, and then think about trying to feel like the outsides, the edge of your feet are straight, so it might feel like you're a little bit pigeon-toed. Place your right ankle on top of your left knee, and then you're just, so this is just going to stay here. We're going to lift up the heel, press it down, lift up the toe. So lifting up the heel, then lifting up the toe. So this is a pumping action. This is called rocking chair. So we're working the calf on this. We're getting some mobility in the ankle. And don't let that foot walk away from you. Bring it back as it does. So this action that we're doing with our feet, again, another important action to be able to be doing when we're walking. Sometimes we walk more flat-footed as opposed to this heel-toe action. Doing one more on this side. And then you're going to leave that right ankle where it is. You're going to try to push that right knee away from you. So this is a stretch. This might feel a big enough stretch for you, and if it is, this is where you're going to stay. But if you feel like you need more of a stretch, then you're going to lift up that left leg. You're going to try to maintain a 90-degree angle with this. And then the upper body is relaxed as we stay here for about a minute. Making sure you're breathing. So as you're bringing that left knee in towards you, that right knee gently pushes away from you. So you should feel a stretch on the outside, sort of the upper outside of the thigh on the right side. You've got a little bit of arch happening in the low back here, but the upper body otherwise is relaxed. Palms face up to the ceiling, and you're breathing.
Taking one more breath here, and then you can bring that left foot sole down to the ground. Leave the right foot where it is, and then you're going to take that right foot, you're going to drop it down towards the left. Palms now face down. So you can fool around with what feels better for you. That maybe it feels better to have the arms out to a T, or they stay down at sort of at 4 and 8 o'clock. Again, that right knee tries to push away from you a little bit. It's a twist. And so you might decide it might feel all right to look away from the twist, so then you would turn your head to the right. But if that doesn't feel right for you, then just put it in a position that feels comfortable. So breathing. Again, this knee tries to push away from you. There's a little bit of strength in this. Taking one more breath here, and then on the inhale, bring that whole unit back up to center. Right foot sole goes down onto the ground, and now left ankle goes onto right knee. So again, just make sure that on that right side, the knee is in line with the hip, and the foot's in line with the knee. So start with the rocking chair, lifting up your foot, or your heel, and then your toe, just going back and forth on this. So this pumping action is also really important in that the muscles in that calf area help to take away fluid up to the lymphatic system. And so again, if we're not doing this action, then that pump isn't happening as it should, which may cause us some issues. Making sure you're breathing here. One more. And the foot comes down to the ground. This left knee tries to push away. This might be where you stay with this stretch if this feels like a big enough stretch. And if you feel that you need more, then you're lifting up that right leg. Again, trying to have a 90-degree angle on that knee. So as you're bringing that right knee towards you, that left knee gently pushes away from you. So you're trying to do all this without your hands. You're not pushing with your hands. You're just trying to use muscles to do all of this. And you are breathing, making sure you got a little bit of arch in the low back here. Taking one more breath here. Bring that whole unit down to the ground, leaving that left ankle where it is, and now you're going to take that left foot and you're going to drop it over to the right. So it's a twist onto the other side. You're trying to push that left knee gently away from you as you do this, and then your head, if it's comfortable, can turn opposite that, so it can turn to the left. If not, keep it straight. So if this twist feels too much for you, and perhaps that right foot doesn't come down to the ground, then you could use your blocks maybe to prop it up a little bit. Just finding a place that the stretch feels good. You shouldn't go into stretches so that they feel extreme. Your body should be happy in stretches. Make sure you're breathing. Taking one more breath here, and then on the next inhale, bring that whole leg unit back up to the center. Foot comes down to the ground, bring knees into chest. You can rock it out a little bit just to even out the body a little bit from those twists. If it feels all right, you might even bring nose towards the knees. And then bring everything down.
Today we're going to do an exercise called supine groin. So supine groin is a straightening position, or an exercise that we do to help straighten out the body. So we're using the floor as a plumb surface. You're going to need your blocks and your chair again. and then a timer. And so you're going to do this for 10 minutes. So we'll set up first on this. So you're going to use your blocks or your books, whatever, and you're going to anchor. So right now I've anchored my left foot. So my left foot is anchored and I want it to be straight down from my hip. And then my right foot comes up onto my chair, and so that it is bent at 90 degrees at my hip and 90 degrees at my knee. Left leg is straight and the upper body stays relaxed, and so my hands are out to the side and I'm just relaxing in this position. So we're going to stay in this position for 10 minutes. You want to try to be totally relaxed in it, so especially that straight leg, make sure that it stays nice and relaxed on here. And you just want to try to let the body settle into this. So if pain shows up, you want to just try to let the body try to settle it out of pain. Don't if you get into any numbness or tingling, then you should come out of it. But otherwise, just lay here, let everything settle, making sure you're breathing. So go ahead, set your timer. Get in your position, set your timer, and I'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Welcome back. So now we'll go over to the other side. I've got my blocks, which is going to anchor my right leg now. So again, as I set up, I want to make sure that my leg is straight. And then my left leg goes onto my chair or my ottoman. Again, and trying to just let everything settle again. So you're just lying here, breathing. 10 minutes again, we're staying on this side. Trying to really let that straight leg relax. And just letting settle. Go ahead, set your timer. I'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Welcome back. So we've done the supine groin on each side, and so now we have to do something, and we left the body a little bit in some disparity because we've done one side and then we've done the other. And so now we have to do something that is a bilateral movement and evens the body out. So we're going to do air bench again. So you're coming here against the wall, walking out. So you want to make sure that your knees are in line with your hips and your feet are in line with your knees. Low back presses into the wall. Upper body is relaxed. So your head looks straight ahead, or might even tuck down a little bit into this lovely little double chin here happening. But you're just hanging out here for 2 minutes. If 2 minutes feels too long, then try to hang out here for at least 30 seconds. And then you might work up to this. 2 minutes. So what we're trying to do after that straightening exercise, the supine groin, now we are trying to set the straightness that we tried to get on that. So you wanted to notice when we were in that supine groin, whether your low back settled in that time period. It might not. Sometimes it takes quite a bit longer for the low back to settle down to the ground. But it's a great exercise to do, the supine groin. It can help with all sorts of pain. So low back pain can help relieve low back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, knee pain. And it can help relieve pain because it does help to straighten. And so that's really what we're trying to do with lots of these exercises, is get the body straight. Once the body is straight, then often we are out of pain. So there's about 30 more seconds here. Just focusing on your breath. Making sure that low back is still pressing into the wall. Take one more breath here. Push into the wall, coming back up. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.